Name is Tiffany Townsend, founder and CEO of Ship Black.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, this guest I met with my kids and my sister-in-law while we were at the White Label Expo in Las Vegas 2022. And really, it's like I met her, but really I met her clone. I say that because I met her twin sister, and just in passing, you guys know I talk a lot, and the twin sister hooked me and said, let's go over and talk to my sister, who is the founder of Ship Black. Yes, there is a Black-owned shipping company that you can tap into right there in Houston, Stratford, Texas. But Tiffany Townsend, yes, of the famous Townsends, she's going to give us the game on how she created Ship Black after having a career in the post office. She done took the game and flipped it, y'all. Tiffany, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am wonderful. Good morning.
Good morning. God morning. Tell the people how you went from having a career at the postal, office, and then saying, you know what? I'm going to kick back and I'm going to do my own thing and take it to another level, and just give us the game on Ship Black.
Well, let me start by giving you a game on life, and I'm not going to say don't despise small beginnings, because my career in the Postal Service was never small. It was huge, because I was working for the federal government. I started with the post office when I was in my early 20s. Okay. And so what happened during my career is I got promoted at a fast level. I was on a fast track to success, but it was with hard work. It was hard work. It was dedication. It was me volunteering to do the things that nobody else in the company wanted to do. It was me wanting to go to offices that had a lot of issues that nobody else wanted to go to. And so when you think of firefighters, when you think of everybody running from the building and the people that's running to the building. And so because I was able to do that, because those are the things I specialized in, the knowledge that I received there, the 20 years of knowledge that I received when running into burning buildings, I was able to use that now as a career for myself, because now I'm on with knowledge that very few in the Postal Service have, because they don't want to go into those type of situations. Now I'm able to turn it around now and serve a people. And that's what I created when I created Ship Black, is what all of the knowledge, all of the strategic planning, all of the troubleshooting, all of the problem solving that I had to do in my career in the United States Postal Service. Now I'm able to turn that around now and serve others and serve people. And my goal is to make more Black-owned e-commerce businesses, brands, or brick and mortar successful.
No, I love that, because when everybody else was going home or coming, to lunch and taking a later lunch, you were going there and learning and taking on those extra tasks. Makes all the difference. But what a lot of people might not understand is, how can you beat the postal company, beat DHL? They're so big. Many people would have been intimidated and be like, I can't even try. There's no margin to make any profit. Give us the game, how you even discovered that, and what that took to do that, because that's amazing.
Well, becoming a fulfillment center puts you in a different, I'm going to say similar to like a different tax bracket. And so my postage that I have and the discounts I have, by me being a registered fulfillment center, I get a lot of breaks and discounts on postage. And that helps me, and I'm able to negotiate that because we ship large quantities. And so I'm able to negotiate that with the United States Postal Service, with DHL. We can still use their services, but at a negotiated rate. And because of the large volume that we ship, and because we're a fulfillment center, it puts us in a different tax bracket, so to speak. It puts us in a different postage bracket so that we can still utilize those services, but at a cheaper discounted rate. And I like to roll those discounts over to my customers so that they can be successful. Because it's one thing you have to know: if you're shipping anything, shipping is not free. Mailing is not free. Postage is not free. And although you hear that a lot through large companies, you're not a large company. You're not Walmart, you're not Target, you're not Amazon. Amazon, in fact, lose money on free shipping. but they make so much money in other places that it offsets that loss on shipping doesn't matter. But small businesses don't understand that. New individuals that starting off and have a great product don't understand that they can't offer to sell their item for $10 and free shipping, because in all actuality, the shipping on it may be $8. And then you're selling it for 10. And by the time you waste gas going to the post office, you can use the $2. You're giving your items away for free. And people just have to understand what that actually looks like when it transcribes to numbers, when it comes to their bottom line. And at Ship Black, we really specialize in keeping your numbers out of the red and in the black. And as for business owners, that's the main thing. They're in business to make money.
Definitely. And to make money. Now, to look at the margins and how much profit you can make, how did you educate yourself? Do you have an MBA? Because many people feel, oh, you must have an MBA from Harvard or something like that to fully understand the logistics. Even though Jeff Bezos doesn't have any, I don't believe he has any of that, but I could be wrong. How did you figure out the margins? And do you have an MBA from Harvard? You might.
I am a mailing solution specialist. Okay. And my experience come from the United States Postal Service. My experience coming from learning the back end, being a supervisor, being a postmaster. My last 10 years at the United States Postal Service was in a postmaster role. That's the highest role that you can have in an individual office. Now, not in the Postal Service itself, but when you're at an office. And so I learned the ins and outs of how the actual postage systems work. I learned the ins of out. I know about the dim weight. I understand those things. I understand kind of the hacks, the cheat codes, so to speak. And so those things, because I learned these day in and day out, because I had to strategize day in and day out, because postal services, our individual office, we have to make so much money. They want us to set a goal each day to make so much money for our office. Now it may seem, oh, well, you're the postal service. Yes, every office needs to make a certain amount of money. And so I was making money for my office and put together strategic plans for my office to bring in a certain amount of revenue. So I have experience matters. And it doesn't matter how much schooling you have. I was in the trenches. So my experience, that's the degree I have. My experience matters. And all of my certificates and all of my certifications and my green belt training at the United States Postal Service certifies me and validates me to do the things that I'm doing now.
And you're doing it, just to let people know, this is a newer business, but you had another business right before COVID, the Safe Ship. But you started this Ship Black in the pandemic. Why, when so many other businesses were going out of business, did you quit one and then go to another? Or was it kind of just a rebrand? It takes courage to start something in a pandemic, but it might have been necessito as well for the community.
And it was for the community. What happened during the pandemic is, of course, the doors were closing at all of these businesses. We stayed open. What I done is listen to the community. I had already established a customer base with my postal store. We wasn't open a year yet, but I have the heart to serve. And so when you have the heart to serve, when a pandemic or any crisis happened, you like, what can I do? And so a lot of my clients were older. A lot of our clients were 60, 65 and over. And I started putting together, quarantine kits. And so I would get all of the items. I had access to the mask because no one else did. The community I was in is very diverse. And so a lot of my clients are from China. So you have to remember the pandemic started in China first. So I had already started in January and February. I was sending boxes and boxes and boxes of masks to China already. So I had already switched to pandemic mode, even though we didn't know it was coming to the US, because my customers from China were gathering masks and gloves and stuff from the stores and doctor's office and stuff, and was sending it beforehand. And so when it hit here, I had access to pallets of masks, gloves, my clients. And I'll say this just as a side note, treat your customers good. Treat everybody good. Treat them with dignity and respect. Because I'm telling you, when the pandemic happened, the seeds that I sown from treating my customers well, from going over and beyond, came back to me, because I was the only person in the community that they knew of that had masks.
Oh,
Okay. So
wow.
I was selling masks to everyone. I stay in a small town, and we were sending masks all over. I mean, people were emailing me like, can you send, my sister in New York masks? Can you send, our people in Florida? Can you send over to Washington, up Washington, Portland areas there? They had a shortage on that type of stuff. So we really kind of almost had the key to the city, because we were able to service so many. So when my customers from my postal store stopped coming in, I still was able to serve the community that way. But you had brick and mortars, boutiques, clothing boutiques, and different things that were shutting down that still needed to get their products to customers. So guess what they had to do? They had to ship it. I was open. No one wanted to go to the post office. The post office was full of people. It was nasty. It wasn't sanitary. And guess what? Their workers didn't want to come to work. The workers were angry because they still had to come to work, and everybody else now was going remote and work from home. But you can't work from home if you're at a postal counter. And so really I provided the customer, it was with service. I serviced. And during the pandemic, 89% of the e-commerce brands were women, Black women. So you had people that looked at like me and you starting to sell items online just to feed their family, just to keep an income coming in, because they were the individuals that's working at McDonald's, working at bars, working at salons, things that were shut down during the pandemic. So you have salon owners that's now making up stuff in their kitchen that's still trying to sell to people to keep feeding their families. But they have little knowledge of shipping. They have little knowledge of what to ship their items in, how the packing works, how all of that works. So that's what I became solution for them. Hey, drop your stuff off to me. We'll take care of it. We'll pack it. We'll ship it. We'll get it off. I'll bill you at the end of the week. That's how I created Ship Black. It was from serving a need for our community, seeing what the people needed. How can we help them? How can we help them feed their families? They were making so many mistakes that I was losing money just from servicing them.
Mm.
And I'll give you examples so you can clearly understand. You have someone that's making pound cakes. They heard that they could ship these cakes in a free box from the United States Postal Service. And they do have a free box at the Postal Service. But remember what I said earlier, shipping isn't free. The box is free. So they got these cakes, charged $25 to make mom's famous pound cake. Okay? $25, $5 for shipping. When they brung their 15 pound cakes that they made to my office for shipping, it was $21 for shipping, because they used that free box for the United States Postal Service. That's called large flat rate box. The box is free, but the shipping is not. So you have a cake that you charge $25 for. Your shipping on it is $21, and they paid you $5 for shipping. At best, at best, you may made a $5 profit, if that. But now you got to take an account of everything, all the ingredients it took to make the cake, the time it took to make the cake, and the actual container that they bought to put the cake in to actually put it in the box. So what that looked at like is a mother and daughter at my counter crying their eyes out, because they were just trying to make enough money so that they can pay their bills, so they can pay their light bill and pay their water bill. They took a tremendous loss. I've seen this play out over and over again. If they had the simple knowledge on how the shipping works, they would have been successful. But they didn't have the knowledge, and they didn't know, and they didn't understand. And that's what I've seen play out over and over again in different scenarios. But that's one that I can easily give to really understand the impact that my knowledge can make in a business.
You guys, this is why it pays to get expert help. As a consultant, I know that sounds self-serving, but not just me. There's a lot of people, and Tiffany just proved she is an expert in shipping and to go get that help before you jump into these moves. Because our people, we keep bumping our head against the wall when there's people who've already been where you want to go. Now, I don't go into the post office because the way you said, it's nasty. And I say not just nasty, sometimes the attitudes are nasty too. And I'm not trying to get into a fight. I'm not trying to be on anybody's YouTube, but I like the, going in the personal mom and pop store. And I find that a lot of minorities own them, and I'm blessed to be in an area where it's just really down the street or next door, I should say. But you're talking about a community give back, during the pandemic. And I want to know about your other community give back that you're doing with Pack and Pour, because it's like you're going for sainthood with all this, angel-like behavior.
Hey, let me just tell you, God called me out of the career, and I have to be transparent that I plan on staying in my career in the Postal Service and getting my 35 years in and officially retiring. But after my 20 years came in, it was a light or some knowledge that dropped to me, like, you can actually leave now and secure your retirement. And when you turn of legal age, you can actually still draw it out, 100%. I'm like, really? So when that little kink came in, I was like, I've probably done everything that I wanted to do, but God called me out. He called me out into, I'm going to say, into the deep. And like I said, then I start realizing that my career in the Postal Service was nothing but a stepping stone. It was a training center for me. This is my real mission. And so with Pack and Pour, we actually provide jobs and training skills for young adults on the autism spectrum. And I will tell you, just as a little side note here, African-American boys are being diagnosed on the autism spectrum at an alarming rate. Probably now almost 1 in 3 Black boys that are born sometime in their life, whether it's caught early or later when they have different behaviors, that they are on the spectrum. And so it's so important to have these individuals, because a lot of them end up being incarcerated because they're acting out. The school system don't want to deal with them, but no one's taking the time to see what's really going on while they're acting out in class. Is it because they can't comprehend, they can't retain any of the knowledge, they can't comprehend the reading skills and the math skills? And so what we're doing is teaching these individuals a skill set and providing jobs for them. And that's what's important with the community give back, is who are you providing jobs for? I'm not just creating and helping these businesses with Ship Black, we're also creating jobs. And anyone who partner with us helps secure jobs for these young adults on the spectrum, to ensure that they have a life, ensure that they can actually give back to the community and be acclimated in the community. So that's what our Pack and Pour. You can give back to the Pack and Pour. Check out our website, shipblack.com. Send us an email and say you're interested in how you can help with the Pack and Pour. We'll send you a link to give for that program to help keep these kids employed and learning a skill set.
It's really, a lot of us are misunderstood. Personally, I was a terrible student until I went to college. And, then when I got there, I said, oh, I got a good GPA, but then you can't pay the bill for that private school unless you run that 40 fast or step on that football field. And sometimes you say, what is it all about? And so, and then you might go to an HBCU after that and say, woo, I'm advanced. But I was a terrible student a second ago, because when I wasn't around my people, I was looked at, oh man, the way we learn. And it's not just a Black thing. Some people just think differently. And parents, you got to think about that with your kids. If they're struggling, they might not be, I homeschool my two, LondonandSydney.com. So I don't have to worry about those things. They have their own teacher. They do a good job of being advanced, but I know how that feels of Oh, put him in the special class. Mama say he can't go in the special class. Y'all trying to throw him in the prison
Yep.
pipeline system.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, yeah.
And so then they struggle the whole way through. And like you said, it's just misunderstood. And so that's what we're doing. I'm doing a lot of work in the community with those type of individuals and just shining a light. I have a Facebook group, Black Moms of Boys with Autism. And so that actually just to say, hey, it's okay. It's not bad. You know, I don't know where down the line that this came at as a negative, you know, and so that's what I'm really trying to change the narrative. If your child is diagnosed with autism, that's not bad. Who said it was bad? That means you have a genius on your hand and it's up to you to pull out that thing that they're actually great at. And so, you know, who has photographic memory? I don't, but a lot of kids on the autism spectrum do. You know, these are traits that you look at Superman and they have. And so if you can shine the light on the advantages of individuals on the autism spectrum have versus, I'm going to say, what they say is a normal person, I like that. I like the abnormal person a little bit better because they're more advanced than just your average student.
Folks, if you didn't catch that photographic memory, I tell people all the time, that's how a lot of us we listen well and we can, you know, regurgitate. I found out a few years ago I was dyslexic. I got a diagnosis for that. And I see that as a superpower where I have a brother who, you know, he didn't struggle in school per se, but they try to say, is he autistic? Is he on the spectrum? There's a lot of medical doctors that we know. My wife is a physician and she's like, most radiologists that I meet are on the spectrum somewhere. So just because you, yeah.
They are genius. Most doctors are on the spectrum. You may even try sitting down and really having a conversation with your doctor. You may find it weird, you may think, because they analyze things different. Okay. They have a special superpower. Most people in genius roles, what they call, what is that man called? What they call him? Not the one who riddled out the math problems. What is it called? Rain Man.
Oh, yeah.
Rain Man was a genius. Okay.
Yeah.
Rain Man could analyze numbers like no other. Rain Man can secure a top job at NASA with that. You see what I'm saying? If you put him in NASA, you know what I'm saying? Him doing math at McDonald's doesn't make sense. And you have to find out what these individuals are great at, what they know how to do, and you put them in that atmosphere and you put them in that and they thrive. People are fighting, people are throwing money at them, at the Rain Man, because he needs to be in an accounting firm. He needs to be, you know, in NASA. He needs to be in engineering. He needs to be where numbers matter. But you can't put him somewhere where numbers don't matter. He's going to fail.
Real talk. And we have to, you know, art imitates life or vice versa. In most superhero movies, shows, they're not respected or accepted. They are the outliers. They are the ones who,
exactly.
Yeah, people trying to capture and, you know, what are you doing here? And it's like, I'm trying to help you guys. I'm trying to help humanity. So when you understand that, it is what it is. And, you know, them average folks just can't get down with the superheroes.
Yeah.
With, you know, the shipping business, you know, Ship Black, I mean, that's such a great name. Is there any thoughts that you have? This is going to be out there, but is there any thoughts that you have for shipping and how the metaverse, how that's all going to like tie in? Because there will be a shipping company in the metaverse if there's not already. Sorry, folks, if I don't know about it yet, but have you looked into that with, you know, Oculus and the person is shipping this? I just want to know. I'm just curious.
I'm trying to understand so much of the metaverse, and I want to be the big shipper in the metaverse. But the honest fact of right now, it is so many people that I see tangible that need my help, that I can't even look beyond that. I can't look beyond that because e-commerce brands are still growing from 2020, from the pandemic to still today. They are growing at an alarming rate. And like I said, 89% are individuals that look like me and you. And so if I take my eyes and take my focus off of them, they're going to lose. So I can't even go into the next dimension because there's so many people per se in front of me now that I can tangibly touch that needs my help.
Okay, and it makes sense. And for the young folks who are listening, if you have an idea, email info@shipblack.com, because I see like my kids in their metaverse that they like roadblocks. And I'm like, how'd you build that house? I didn't give you any money for that. And they're delivering pizzas and all type of things inside of their world, making money. Now, I have to mention Africa in this because, off air, you and I had talked shipping to Africa. I just told you I spent hundreds of dollars just today, this morning, to ship something about this big. And it's just a common thing. Do you see shipping to Africa becoming any cheaper in the future? And why is it so expensive? Because it's not as expensive. You could ship even further than Africa. And you're like, how is these 54 African countries and growing? I know people. Why is it so expensive? And my package might not get there, period. It might not get there for 6 months. That's even with DHL, shipping children's books. It's 6 months later. Hey, I got the book. But they tell you your package in this certain country or this region, it may not get there because we can't track it due to, they say corruption. I say it's something that needs to be worked on. But why is that Africa is so dang expensive compared to other places that, it's like, it doesn't make sense, to me at least.
Right. So think about Africa and think about where Africa is as a continent in technology. Think about the infrastructure there. Think about so many villages, how far and where DHL or anyone have to go to deliver to those villages and to those areas. And so when you factor all of that in, that's where you get someone even like DHL who flies their items over, but they may fly to only certain areas, okay, with the airport. And then now they have to truck it, and we know, think about the infrastructure in Africa and getting from village to village, from main city to a lot of the small villages. And that's what factors in the pricing as far as DHL saying that they're going to get it there at a certain time. You really can't, from, it could be a month, it could be a rain. It could have washed away the road that gets there, and we have to wait for, it to be built, another road to be built so that they can get to where they need to go. So you're thinking about on the continent that has infrastructure issues, that technology isn't where it needs to be. It's growing because let me tell you, the people on the continent of Africa love ShipBlack. They want ShipBlack there. I mean, if they could have me come in and take over the whole postal service there, that's what they would do. I hadn't met anyone from the continent that hadn't been excited about ShipBlack. I have conversations with individuals weekly about that. I have some things that's going on that, I'm under NDAs that I can't really speak of on providing things to Africa, but it's coming. Africa is opening up. Africa in so many areas is becoming more advanced now. The internet, the towers and stuff is being built. The connections, the online things is starting to come. And the people in the village are becoming more knowledgeable now of what's going on. So now they're making items. So I actually have a big push now that I'm trying to get a lot of things from the village sent to the US to house in our warehouse, and actually sell these things here in the US and send that US money back to Africa. The dollar the American dollar, you know, in Africa, it equates to something. You know, we're talking about generational wealth here. You know, we're talking about having great items, and it's a big uh, African audience in the US. They want their authentic things from home. They want the good seasoning. They want the fufu. I mean, they want the whole nine. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They don't want what's in the store here. They want that stuff that came right off the bush there. And they done chopped it up and done it and then bottled it and sent it, you know, to us. And those are the type of items that we're going to be bringing via Ship Black and dispersing in the US. And then also, once we get that, once we bring, we're talking about bringing whole containers in worth of product. And guess what? That container ain't gonna go back empty. So now you have individuals that want stuff to be shipped to Africa. We're talking about filling that container back up and sending it back over full of product, and that being dispersed and then keeping that way going. So we're actually trying to get more things going to where you can get things on the continent at a cheaper price, and actually know that it actually got there, but also, you know, exporting some things from Africa to help these families there get some of this money, because it's big. It's a lot of money that's going around, and e-commerce is great. And I really want our people as a whole, from the continent on to the US, to be a part of it.
Yeah, we need that. We need that. And with drones and all that, you know, there's ways of getting stuff and things we can do on the continent there that, you know, Jeff Bezos, who would love to do, he'd love to bring you drones. It's coming. And I stand corrected when I talked about him, you know, going to Harvard. He went to Princeton, y'all. So, you know, some might say, yeah, he didn't go to Harvard, he went to Princeton. But the point is, you had a vision, and your education was really tied into the experience, which I think is better than just reading a book, writing a 10-page paper, and then they say, hey, you're knowledgeable. Is there any collaboration, since you are near that Houston area, of, you know, what is it? Buy Houston, buy Black Houston. And then Houston has its own Black store where every product is Black. Have you collaborated with any other organizations and or stores to say, we're going to handle all your shipping needs? Because what we know is, like, Black detergent, the Black detergent company, it's expensive to ship. And if there was ever any type of discount, I don't know if you guys have, you know, had those conversations yet, y'all all being down there and doing big things.
Oh yeah, I've had a conversation with the founder of the Black store, you know, and what he's really focused is setting that presence in the store. And then the second phase of that is creating that e-commerce piece where you can start now shipping and making those Black boxes and send. But I actually, the Vitamin M box is one of my clients. That's a subscription box full of Black owned products. So I have a few boxes, subscription boxes, that we actually ship monthly, that's Black businesses. And we're actually going to be coming out with the Ship Black box. Okay. And that's just all of my clients that I have, because it's, you know, mostly all Black brands. And we're just going to be each month sending things out that they have. So you'll have that Ship Black box, collaborating just so that more people can put eyes on your product. That attracts more customers. So yeah, with the, and each individual client that could be in the Black store or in these pop-ups, that's my client. Because what I'm going to do and what I have rolling out coming towards the fall, when pop-up shops start, how to actually get your item from a 6x6 table to the kitchen table. And so I'm going to have that whole process from A to Z on how to take your products from the next level.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that sounds also like a course later down the lines.
Yeah, hey, but we got our Ship Black University. So, you know, this whole thing is not so much, yes, it's about doing, but it's also about educating. And we have to educate you so that you can be successful. So, you know, I don't even like getting in that courses, because for me, it's so many people out here scamming and scheming that people, when they really find a course that actually matters, it's been so many people that's just not given quality information. it gives people a bad name. And so we're going to have our Ship Black University, where people can come down and actually learn in a class-like atmosphere, bring their products with them. And we're doing stuff physical, and we're doing matrix and getting your plan together before you leave. So we're not talking about pay $99 for this course. No. This is real life. We're making change real life. We're not talking about that stuff. So I mean, I don't want to give anybody who's doing it a bad name, but I applied for one course one time. All it took is one time. The amount of information that I got in that course was laughable. And I said, I cannot believe I just paid for it. So I actually wrote it off on my taxes as a charitable contribution, because that's exactly what it was. And I don't wish to imitate that, because I just seen, and those people are feeding their families, and that's okay. But I'm all about integrity. I'm all about excellence. And if it has my name attached to it, it has to have some substance to it. I can put out a lot of smoke because I understand how it works, but I'm all about actually seeing successful businesses and people succeed, and people come back and say, because I followed that, this is where I am now.
Well, I'm going to push back, because sometimes the courses allows people who can't get down there, right? Whether it's financial or they might be bedridden. But that's why people like yourself, I say, should do a course. I mean, I've written a course on how to first time to travel for Africa. I've had people go to Africa many times. They say, Kellen, I never knew that. I never knew some of the stuff you were talking about. And it's also why I've been reluctant to just, talk about just business and how to invest, because that can get very interesting. But my course is $20. Why? Because when you write a great course for people, I'm thinking a McDonald's thing. Everybody, I want 1 billion sold. I don't need your $1,000. I don't need your any of your money. But because I keep saying the same thing over and over, let me make a course for you. Because your course could be the university just filming it, right? That what you're doing in person, and you film it, and people can get that. And so it's just making money in the sleep. Them scammers, I almost called one of you out, but I'm not gonna hate, because Miss Tiffany's going for sainthood, and I'm not gonna do that. But of course,
what it is. Them scammers make it bad for people that do have a great course. People don't want to buy it. That's because I've offered a course before, and people didn't want to buy it. I'm like, wow, I think that they've been hurt. I think they've been misled.
Well, you know what? They could be misled, but it's also how people want to retain information. I listened to Miles Monroe when I saw him on YouTube say, read a book a week. It could change your life. And my wife and I, that's what our always goal is. If not, she might do 2 books like his wife. But the fact is, our people think sometimes a course is just saying something you would say on YouTube. No, a course is going into the nitty gritty of how things work. And if you haven't gone to school, I need you to go to school and just figure out how the professor, a good one, is giving you that game. But it's also, people are doing the best that they can with what they think a course. Do you understand? Okay, I'm sorry to go here, but do you know that there are people calling themselves experts and philanthropists and all type of things, and they have no knowledge of nothing? They're just talking. It sounds good, and I can go rent an airplane to take a picture in front of it, or I can go rent a car on Turo, or hell, I'll put my whole life to get an expensive car so you think I'm rich. Those people y'all need to stay away from, especially y'all Black people caught up in that because somebody has some nice things. No, check out Miss Tiffany's store. She got to pay the rent on that store every day if she didn't just buy it all out. And though you have to have discernment. And if you don't, it's like when people say, hey, buy this crypto, you'll become a billionaire. If you really believe it's that easy, you're misguided. But what you won't be misguided in is how to ship Black. Now, right. Can the people ship, even if they don't live in Houston or anywhere close? Would it make financial sense for them then to ship their items to you and then you ship them out? How much margin do we got in that?
Oh, that's absolutely how every item that we have. I mean, the businesses, I probably only have 1/3 of my clients are from Houston. Most of my clients are from, I have people from all over the clients in the UK, a client in Africa, Canada, Jamaica, all over. And so if you have a product, if it's being manufactured, your item will come straight from the manufacturer to us. If you actually have the item um, with you, then you would just ship, we'll get that pallet down here of boxes, especially a lot of the subscription boxes that we curate. Um, all of the different businesses that they buy from, they just have them ship them straight to us because they would have to ship them to them. Instead of shipping it to them, they just ship it to us and we do it. So it makes absolute sense. All of those, I use my shipping discounts to make sure that it's coming at the cheapest rate when it's traveling to us, whether it's a postage, whether it's a third party or what have you. But the items come to us, we store them, and as the orders come in, we ship them out for you. So you don't have to turn your whole living room, bedroom, kitchen table, and garage into a shipping center. You don't have to. We have a shipping center for you. You need to focus on your marketing. You need to focus on making more product, making more connections, scaling your business. That's your job. Our job is to take care of the orders as they come in daily and do the packing and shipping and ensure that you have lifelong customers, ensure that you have repeat customers. Because people go to Amazon because they know once they place their orders, they'll be filled within 24 hours and it's on its way. It can be the same for you if you have a fulfillment center. It's not cool to send your packages out. I only ship out on Wednesdays. I only send stuff out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. What? I only ship out what? Why? Most of the time it's because that's your side hustle and you have a full-time job or you have a family and you can't do it. It's okay. Send it to the fulfillment center because I guarantee you'll have more repeat customers if they know that if I order my item on Monday, it's possible that I'm going to get it Wednesday or the next day. Or I can get it quickly versus if I order it, I'm not sure even when it's going to come. If I want to wear your nice t-shirt to the picnic or the cookout this weekend, I'm scared to order because I really don't even know when you're going to get around to shipping it to me and when I'm actually going to get it. So guess what? I'm going to go here because I know if I get it from here, I'm going to have it on time. These are the things that I'm trying to culture. Make your product, make your brand something that people want to go to. People want to go to your site and order because you're reliable, because you're quick, because you're fast. Because I guarantee you, people are going to go to Amazon and find something similar and order it because they know they're going to get it on time versus going to your site.
You guys have got the game, and whether it's Amazon, Etsy, you're used to, get the game, uplift the game. At least send an email, get a serious conversation, and know that just because you got a free box does not mean that it's free shipping. I thought that was such a nice rookie mistake. You got to make content on that for your own channel. That's a beautiful story. That's a beautiful story and a good lesson of why you need an expert. So I thank you, Miss Tiffany. Leave the people with some good game and where they can contact you.
Well, the best thing that I can tell you, and I've coined this phrase, shipping isn't free. Don't let the people tell you that shipping is free. Don't try to build your business on free shipping because it's one thing that you should know. People actually pay for what they want. People pay for what they want. For the person in the back, don't be afraid to charge shipping. Don't be afraid to put a price tag on your item because people actually pay for what they want. Okay. Customer service matters. Okay. Great customer service matters. And if it's not your thing, that's why you outsource. You get it to someone who can actually take care of your customer service for you. Because repeat customers, long lifetime customers will make you that money in your sleep that you want. And if you need help, just call us, shipblack.com, book a consultation with us, get into our Ship Black University. If you don't want us to do your shipping, we will actually still educate you. You can retain us for a year. You can retain us for 6 months. If you're just thinking about even sourcing a product, we help from A to Z. So follow us on Instagram. Follow us at Instagram, Ship Black Co. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook, Ship Black Co. on all platforms, and check out our website, shipblack.com.
And check her out too at 413-337-SHIP. You guys got the game. Make sure you share it with somebody. It will change their life. Be blessed, y'all.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed biased socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. The opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration enjoyed by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.